Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. We got a rain day today. Everything's all covered up here. So we got a little break in the weather right now. So the dog and I are going to go take a walkabout. A little bit later, when I'm done with this walkabout, I'm going to grab a bunch of that styrofoam, take it over to the shed, and do some cuts. All of the stuff at the top needs a 5-degree bevel to fit up underneath that rim board. So I'll probably get that all done today as well. Oh, I've been meaning to update on these apples. I got an apple off of this tree the size of a softball, or actually bigger than that. Oh, great. Yeah, none of the real big ones are left. We've been oh, that one is pretty damn big. This is Honeycrisp. Yeah, these are nowhere near as big as that biggest one. Almost gone. Whenever they fall on the ground, the dog plays with them like a ball. Let's take a look at this. This is the Macintosh. This had tons of apples on it. I mean, there's bunches on the ground right now. And that tree is still loaded with apples, and we've been picking them. I don't know, we probably got at least 100 apples off this little tree. I must have did a good job of pruning. I got to get at these apples that are on the ground. Not only do they attract hornets to the area, and then I'll have hornet problems next year. All right, this is a prairie grass planting. I really don't know what's what here. I know some of this is foxtail. We got some mullein there. I haven't been able to get in here and weed, and nothing I'm seeing. This right here is perennial rye, I'm pretty sure, which the majority of this should be perennial rye. This little man, he generally does not come along on walks, but he's been getting brave lately. He was a rescue. He was way underweight and had gut problems. He farted all the time. Still does a little bit, but he's not super brave. He doesn't like the outside as much as the other cats. So back to this. I don't see any of my prairie grasses growing in here, but I'm going to guess that next year you'll be able to see quite a bit of them. I did a lot of weed and seed in here, but I did plant mostly perennial rye, so that's what you're seeing. A lot of the open spots, I did do the weed and seed, but nothing has seed heads, so I really can't tell what's what here. That really thick stuff down there, that's all oats, and I'll show you some more of that when I head over that way. But we'll take a quick look at the bur oaks and then go down the walnut trail over there. Yeah, the pasture over here is really nice and lush. We want to get the horses over here, but we gotta put fence in, and I'm working on the addition pretty much full time. And I also have a new job that I'm working on our day job. So I have zero time, and Natalie is just massive volleyball stuff, which I'm really disappointed with. I really don't like her coach. But that's another story. Yeah, the bur oaks are looking fantastic. At least some of them. Some of them are, I mean, that one's a twig, looks like it's dead. That one has a couple tiny leaves. And that one's fair to Midland, and then they get much better as you come this way. I mean, this is gorgeous. Look at the big, nice big leaves. Got a little bit of fungi or whatever on it, but you know, oaks get a lot of that, and especially this time of year. All trees kind of, you know, as the end of the year comes about, they don't look too hot. Okay, here's that walnut trail that I made earlier this year. Let's take a look at this. I planted some of that perennial rye through here. It's finally filling in a bit, but it's pretty shady. I also planted Virginia rye, which is supposed to be real shade tolerant, but I don't know. I planted it all through here. It doesn't look like it took that much. Hey, Izzy, hey, what are you up to? She probably smells the deer. You could see this deer trail worn into the grass that I planted. Heads right down to my nephew's tree stand. They're gonna be here, I think, this weekend. He needs to give me a call and let me know what their plans are. Well, he talked to Cindy, but I'm pretty sure they're coming this weekend. Okay, let's take a look at the bramble patch, which is right by his tree stand. I mean, look at that grass there. That was all brambles. Well, even this spring. I cut it down again this spring, killed it back with 2,4-D, and planted all of this. That is pretty much 100% perennial rye, and I'm going to slowly switch it out to little blue stem and other native prairie grasses at some point, but it's not a priority, so for the time being this is going to stay perennial rye. Yeah, this is really filled in well. Really nice. You could see the difference in height here. This is pure perennial rye. This is Wisconsin DNR mix, which is perennial rye, annual rye, and creeping red fescue. And here's the Billy Road. A while back I did a video on having this dozed. He dozed down and around. I want him to continue right past where my nephew's tree stand is there. The road continues down and across the ravine over there. So next year, maybe, who knows, I'll have my nephew move the tree stand to that other tree right there, the bigger one, and we'll continue this road that way. It's also going to connect over this way, so a bit of road work to be done here. This stuff will all be cleared at some time in the near future, except for that big hickory, I believe it is. Yeah, this really came in nice. This was all brambles and other stuff through here, and I need to get back in here and kill back the forbs again, but I'll probably wait till spring. Really no need to do anything now. The brambles will try to come back again, so in the spring I'll knock everything down again, which will kill the white clover that's mixed in here, but no big deal. I mean, that'll come right back. Here's some deer print going up the road. Came right through our yard. Okay, I don't know if I'll go through here or not. This is the first and main Oak Savanna project right behind the house here, but it's kind of hard to get through. I'll do it anyways. There's Bigfoot. I really like how the grasses kind of pour over the rocks here. This particular grass will not be remaining here. This is perennial rye again. But when all is said and done, this will be a walking trail through here, and whatever grass is growing there will likely be doing the same thing. Okay, let's follow Izzy through there. Yeah, after the grasses here die back later this fall, I will be coming in here, and the thinner spots like right here, I'm going to rake in little blue stem and side oats grandma seed. I'm going to do that here and all over there. There's not a lot of spots like that anymore. See this, I pulled weeds here and seeded it, so weed and seed. So all this is likely Indian grass or one of the prairie grasses. Yeah, see, this is kind of dangerous because there's ledges in here, rock ledges that you can just walk right off of. At some point, I'll be putting trails through here for walking, but I would not come and just walk right through here. End up with a broken leg. So this fall, I'm hoping to get this burned and cut up some of this stuff, but a lot of this I'm just going to leave. It's going to rot real quick being in the grass like this. Yeah, and I'll make a nice little habitat for snakes and stuff, which we really like. I think I'll just pull out these treetops that make it hard to get around in here. Yeah, it's looking really nice and open here. Okay, let's head through that way. I'm on that new road that we made right behind the addition project. You can see where it's cut down pretty deep into the existing ground. You hit this heavy clay and things just don't want to grow in this. This is oats here, and you can see how thick it is in a little bit better soil. I put gypsum on this soil earlier, right after the foundation was dug. Cats and dogs. But this part was done much later in the year, and I haven't gotten any gypsum on it yet. So I'll get to that. I got to get rid of these roots too. Izzy is obsessed with roots sticking out of the ground like this. There's another one there. It's a stick, and it's a stick that she can't get at, so it really pisses her off. Right, Izzy Poo? Yeah, this new road is really nice. Nice and convenient that you can come right from the back of the house and head on down into this area. This is all brand new grass from Wisconsin DNR mix. At some point I would like to get buffalo grass on wherever it'll grow. This is all going to be sunny at some point, so hopefully I can transition this to buffalo grass at some point, which is the only native turf grass. So that'll be an interesting project when I get to that. I'm going to start it next summer. That's why I planted oats on the road up that way. Next summer I'm going to kill that back, burn it. Well, it'll die this fall, and anything that re-sprouts there I'm going to kill back, and then I'm going to burn it and plant some buffalo grass. This back pasture, we're hoping that we get a good amount of grass regrowth here. The horses are real low on pasture. Like I said, we are hard pressed to find the time to rope in that upper pasture. So this might be their only hope for a little more pasture this year. Okay, I'll rejoin you in the area right up here. I call it the North Woods, but I'm killing it back and restoring the prairie there. So let's see how the grasses are doing over there. This area here, which is kind of the beginning of where I'm working here, restoring the prairie. This was a giant patch of garlic mustard. You can see where my grass is starting. I'm not really sure what the varieties are here. You know, I'm trying to toss a blend of different grasses, so it's not all one variety, but this is planned to be mostly Indian grass, so I would imagine there's some Indian grass in here. And I don't think I tossed any perennial rye here, but you know, it's hard to be certain. When you toss as much seed as I do, it's hard to remember what the hell you tossed. So lots of grass coming in. This is more what I want to see, bunches like that, because most of the prairie grass, well, all of the prairie grasses really are not really bunch grasses, but that's what they look like when they're young. Yeah, see, they're all over the place right here. So I'm hoping we have some, you know, the Indian grass will get, at least 6 feet tall. And I do have some mature Indian grass up there. I'll show you at the very end. But there was Indian grass planted in here last year, so I'm hoping I can find some of that. That should have gone to seed now, because the stuff up there has gone to seed. Some of this stuff may be seed from the pasture, but I know I planted all of this right in here. Again, what it is, anybody's guess, because none of it's gone to seed here. Once it has seed heads, it'll be easy to identify. Yeah, this is just fallen. I think these are tree tops. Some of this stuff was hacked and squirted. Some of it, or a lot of it, died on its own. This whole area had a lot of ash in it that was killed by the emerald ash borer. So that stuff's been dying for years. And a lot of this stuff is aspen and birch, which is at the end of its life. So plenty of dead wood in here. Yeah, this is real heavy grass. Here's a, yeah, I think that is orchard grass. Pretty sure that's orchard grass. At some point I will kill that. If it is orchard grass, I'll get a better idea at the time. But if that is orchard grass, I'll end up killing it and putting some seed for something else there. The orchard grass is what's growing in the other pasture, but that's not a native grass, so it's got to go. Yeah, tons of grass in here. It looks really nice, but the broadleaf stuff, or not broadleaf, but the forbs are coming back, the broadleaf stuff. So early next year I'm gonna have to get in here with 2,4-D again, and eventually this will be all restored to prairie. Here again are the bunches. I mean, they're all over the place. I wish I knew what they were. I planted prairie drop seed, a bunch of different stuff when I did little patches, you know, little patches like that. I would toss some seed and step it in. So this could be anything. Yeah, without the seed heads on it, it's impossible to identify. At least impossible for me. Some kind of grass pro could probably do it, but I'm not that person. Okay, I'm going to look around and try to find some stuff that has gone to seed so I can identify it. Yeah, you can see lots of grass growing in here, but you can see like a swath of lighter green there. I'm not sure if it's just because it's a different variety from the darker green stuff here, or if it's the age. I've planted grass here on and off for, oh, this is the second year, but pretty much all year last year and the early part of the year this year. When I walk through here, I plant a little bit of grass here and there. Just kick a little spot in the ground, toss some seed in it, and step it in. So this stuff is all different ages. But I'm still really surprised that there's not at least some seed heads here. I know this stuff is way too young, but some of this stuff looks like it's, you know, possibly a year old. It may be that this stuff isn't going to go to seed for another month. You know, that it'll go to seed real late because it's so young. I think that's what the little blue stem did last year, but I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the videos and see when that got seed heads last year. I mean, it's just, the little blue stem is just going to seed now. So any little blue stem in here will probably be later than that. Yeah, this area right here, that was all garlic mustard, just real heavy garlic mustard. Same thing with through here. I remember killing that stuff back. So this just barely has any grass in it. I have 2 pounds of seed. I might get 2 more pounds of seed. I have a pound of side oats grandma and a pound of little blue stem that I want to kick in, in about 2 weeks when it's starting to get much colder. That way it won't germinate, and hopefully it'll winter and then get really nice and stratified, and it'll germinate in the spring. I was trying to head over to this big guy here. You know, I don't know what it is, but that certainly doesn't look like something from the pasture. Same thing with this dark stuff here. Well, that might be some of the woods grasses that were growing here. I just don't know. But this, all right in here, that looks like Indian grass. I'm hoping it is, and it looks a little older than this stuff around it. Maybe this is some Indian grass from last year. The grass in here is going to be a little more stunted than stuff up there on the hill in Prairie Garden up there, because this is still kind of shaded in the woods. As these trees continue to die back, this stuff will get bigger and bigger. Garlic mustard. This is the first time little man has come on a walk through the woods with me. Generally not that brave. Yeah, this has got to be stuff that I planted, but I just don't know. Look at how nice that looks. I'm hoping a lot of this stuff is prairie drop seed. I know I put a lot of that stuff in, poked holes, dropped the seed in, but it takes so long to establish. I guess I won't know for a year or so. It takes up to 5 years to become mature, but that means that it's going to be 2-3 years before it even goes to seed, likely. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm going to find a lot of seed heads here, but it does look really nice in here. This is exactly what I want to see. Really nice looking grass growing in here. Okay, I'm going to bust out of the woods here and take a look at the North Prairie over there. This little swath through here is all oats. I planted this to keep my ground together until next year. I'm going to replant this in, I don't know, probably Indian grass, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of seed I have on hand next year. This is the work that we had done earlier in the year. It wasn't actually that long ago. Getting rid of that ditch and making a nice smooth transition from the vineyard to the road. So that's planted in just regular grass, bluegrass and whatnot, all the way down to this walnut tree. At some point that'll get nice and dark green. This is all oats, and it never does get really nice and dark. Okay, and this was planted entirely in big blue stem and perennial rye, and from what I can see, almost all of this is perennial rye. I did get in and scratch in various grasses in the bare spots, so I'm sure we got some prairie drop seed and other stuff coming up in these spots here. But I'm not going to know what that is until next year as well. Just like in there, I'm going to come in and some of these spots, I don't think I'll plant any drop seed. But a spot like this, well, if I get more seed, I'll plant Indian grass in these spots. This is planned to be a tall grass area to kind of block out the neighbors here. So most of this stuff will be big blue stem and Indian grass. But I plant prairie drop seed pretty much everywhere. It's really cool stuff. So I'm hoping to get a bit of it growing here and there. That may very well be it right there. Okay, I'm gonna walk straight up through here and go to the west pasture. I don't think I've been over there since late spring. Well, I had planned to walk through the pasture here, but the horses are over here, and I have this naughty girl with me, and she likes to try to herd the horses, which is a pretty dangerous thing. I have a lot of little trees popping back up, so in the spring I'll probably have to go in there with the brush whacker with the blade on it and knock them back again. Pretty much didn't do anything here this year. A little bit in the spring, but almost nothing because of the addition work and other stuff. What is this? She got him pinned down. You playing with your kitty? Vineyard has gotten a lot darker. The leaves have gotten a lot darker now that the fruit is gone. It doesn't have to maintain the fruit anymore, so it's putting its energy into its leaves and hopefully storing it for next year. All right, I'm going to take a look at, whoa. Did you spook that horse? You better behave yourself. Yeah, did that scare you, little man? Little man. Oh, they're still running. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Horses are so nuts. Okay, let's look at these grasses here. Okay, this is the second year. This was planted as all little blue stem, and it was planted all the way down, but I don't know. It never did really well down here, but it will sooner or later. A lot of this stuff was replanted just by doing plugs this year, and weed and seed last year, and plugs this year. I grew all the plugs in the greenhouse. There's all them videos on that. This is some of it. Side oats grandma. And I kind of scattered them here and there amongst it, and I transplanted them wildflowers into here as well. The wildflowers might be a little early. I might have to get rid of them to get the rest of the grass started. I don't know. So, like right in here, I won't know what this stuff is until next year, so I'll just leave it alone. The coarse stuff looks like Indian grass. I'm starting to be able to tell some of these different things. I'm starting to be able to tell what's what here. It's really evident once they go to seed, but when they're just grass, I don't really know. That dog is just nuts. So are them horses. Look at them. Running around, bucking and stuff. This is all little blue stem right here. And I believe this is from the original planting. That, I don't know, it's got a seed head here, but that could be a different plant right underneath it, which is kind of what it looks like. All this real fine stuff, I planted prairie drop seed all over the place, hoping to get some of it growing. It's really fine like this at first, and then it grows to a huge tuft in its second or third year. So there is some in here. I just don't know what's what yet. Like, I'm hoping this is prairie drop seed. That's what I imagine it looks like, and that one there, but just don't know yet. All of this is little blue stem. That's little blue stem. The majority of this is little blue stem all through here, but then you get this real coarse stuff, and I believe that is all this Indian grass. This is Indian grass as well. And for a while there, I was yanking out some of the coarse stuff because I'm used to seeing little blue stem, and I'm thinking, oh, that's a weed. But I gotta quit doing that until I know exactly what it is. This is the mystery big blue stem. The mystery is how it got here. I didn't want to plant any big blue stem here, so I believe the seed company gave me some seed mixed in with the other seed that was the wrong variety. I believe they gave me some big blue stem because it looks like I did a weed and seed with it, and the only big blue stem seed I bought was for down there, and I planted it all right away. Took the whole bag and planted it. So I don't know, maybe I made a mistake and had a little bit of it in a mismarked little baggie for doing weed and seed, but I don't think so. This stuff here is a dense patch of little blue stem. It's just a gorgeous grass, and the stuff coming up above it is Indian grass. You can see it's a good deal taller. Now this is the blue stem, this is the Indian grass. It's 1 foot to 2 feet taller, and then the big blue stem will get even taller than that. Big blue stem can get 10 feet tall. Unfortunately, our horse Blue right there has gotten out like 3 times, and she came through here and not only gouged up the ground big time over that way, bit here, but she bit the tops off of a whole bunch of the big blue stems, so it's not looking as good as it should, but it is looking pretty nice. I'm a little bit lower than this grass, but it's way over my head. Some of this stuff is 7, 8 feet tall. The big blue stem is probably 8 feet tall. So this is coming along real well. And this is bottle brush. I did a dense patch right here in front of the taller grasses, and I'm going to have to do the same right through here, otherwise it's going to get completely engulfed, like right there, here, and all through here. I'll plant some rye and various other stuff that's pretty short. I already planted some grasses right in here. I don't know if that's it or not. I planted June grass through here. We'll see if it comes up or not. Yeah, the bottle brush grass is really interesting. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you real quick, this is side oats grandma again, and I got some real nice little blue stem coming up in the main garden here. Otherwise, this has a long way to go. If I'm going to keep doing it with plugs, it just takes forever to fill in. See, that is a little blue stem right there. They get really big, but it takes a long time doing it with plugs. See, there's one, and there's one. That'll fill in that whole area next year. So I guess it's a big waiting game. There's a little blue stem, there's one right there, and here's one getting fairly large right here. So I guess I'll just have to wait. Alright, the last thing I'm going to show you really quick is the purple love grass. Well, before the purple love grass, this June grass here was kind of buried underneath all the other stuff, and it's finally making a showing. These get about 18 inches around, so these will all be connected next year, and I might get rid of some of this coneflower, and plant grasses here. Not sure. We'll see. That's for next year. But the purple love grass, I showed it in a video focusing just on the purple love grass, and it didn't look that great. But now you can kind of see how awesome this is going to be. These get about 18-20 inches in diameter when they're a year or two old as well. These are all first year. So this is going to be a big purple mass right here. It's going to look really sharp. I just got to keep weeding out the other stuff and getting more of this stuff in there. It's going to be pretty awesome. Okay. Well, I got a ton of work to do. Got to clean up all my little messes. I got all my stuff. This goes back to going back to planting. That was in the back of the gator. Had to take it out to do this, and that's from picking in the vineyard. This is from working on the lawnmower. All of it's got to get put away. So I'm going to work here and there out in the rain today, and I'm going to get some of that foam cut. I'm going to get the foam cut that will go on the addition first, so I'm ready for it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day, and then we have I think it's 5 days of rain. So I'll get anything done I can while we have rain days, and whenever the weather's right, get working on this before it's too late. So if you want to see all that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon so you're notified when I post new videos. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. I generally answer all comments. And if you share this video and or give it a like, that would help the channel immensely, and I would appreciate it greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.